Hello, and welcome to our podcast, Where the Dark Corners Are. Hello. I am Vina, and I am your Dark Travels hostess. Tonight, we have a
road trip with the panda.
And a
In 1995, a team of paranormal travel podcasters found an abandoned cub in the haunted Arctic. After some kick-ass paranormal training and his first alien kill, he was ready. So, if ghosts, serial killers, or monsters in the dark got you scared, don't hesitate to call the Polar Bear. The Polar Bear.
And, no, just kidding.
and Red Panda Sam.
And Red Panda Sam.
Stop eating the trash.
It's rough out here, okay? Inflation's through the roof.
She throws her hands up every time.
Don't make me get the spray bottle.
It wasn't her.
Right? I don't know what you're talking about.
So, the gang's all here. And lately, we've been kind of talking about some travel a little bit more. And the travel that we've kind of been talking about is taking cruises. So, have you guys had a cruise?
Never been on a cruise.
Yes.
I am terrified of water, so I call them floating death traps. Though, one of my coworkers did go on a cruise the other day. Well, she's like currently on the cruise. And she goes, yeah, you know, there's slot machines. I was like, what?
Yeah.
I love to gamble. There's slot machines? What? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, I'll go. You convinced me. I'll take the chance that I die like the Titanic if there's slot machines.
You hit big on the Buffalo machine while you're going down. Buffalo, hold on.
Yeah, just catch me in the slot machine.
Catch me
It's
outside.
fine. Yeah, I'm not even getting on the raft. We're good.
Was the Nevada cruise?
No. The thing is, you have to remember, I think it's like 3 miles. As soon as you're 3 miles off the coast, you're in international waters. And that's international law. Mm-hmm. And that's
gambling's
legal. Correct. Mm-hmm. It's a whole new world. So yes, we've been talking about traveling. We've been talking about going on cruises. And it kind of led me to a topic that I just really think we should touch down on. And I have gone to Italy a couple of times, to England, to France, Belgium, Amsterdam, Ireland, Tokyo. And, you know, when you go, or even you kind of just, you're going to go somewhere and you hear on the news that some dumb shit has done something, I internally will readily admit that I pray to the travel gods it's not an American. Because it used to be, unfortunately, Americans were number one labeled as bad tourists. We are no longer number one.
Who is it now?
Yeah, I was going to say, how did we pass that title?
So we can think good economy, bad economy scenarios.
No, nobody can afford plane tickets.
Correct. Mm-hmm. But they can. To some degree. So I wanted to talk about whether or not you're a bad tourist. Because I remember the first time I was in France and it was all quiet in a nice little restaurant. And all of a sudden you just heard this big group of people and it was Americans. And I was like, shut the fuck up. You're really living the epitome of what they say about us. But it's not us anymore, guys.
That's
Not
funny.
us. So let's talk about some of this shit. Tourists, because credit cards are accessible now. This is accessible now. That's accessible now.
Yeah, because when I went to Italy 5 years ago, you better have cash on you because you weren't going to get euros for anything.
Right.
It was interesting.
So speaking of Italy, and I find this very ironic. One of the big things tourists like to do is carve their names, their initials
Yes.
into the Roman Colosseum. And that was the case in June of last year. It was 2 British people. The guy videotaped himself like a dumb
I saw
shit,
that.
carving Ivan and Haley, 23, into the Roman Colosseum. And he puts it like a dumb shit on TikTok. And the Roman or the Italian police are like, he's going to get you now. And they arrest him. And there's a trial. They're going through the gamut. But also, I mean, they're not the only ones. The next month in July, that happened in June of 2023, a girl from Switzerland and a German both got caught carving their initials into the Roman Colosseum. And I mean, everyone saw this video of the chick, the dumb shit, just going to call it this, who went through the Trevi Fountain to collect some water. They have not released her nationality, so we don't know who she was. But we'll be honest, she kind of looks American.
Well, so when we got there, the first thing that we had to do, because we were students, so we were studying abroad, and they said, like, here's a couple safety things. Americans are the only ones that come over here and get trashed. So if you come over here and get drunk, they're going to know you're not from here and you're going to be an easy target because we don't get drunk over here. You know, like we're not messy, drunk, sloppy, puking in the streets. They're like, Americans do that. So don't do that. Don't buy pot. No one sells pot here. If they say that they're going to give you pot, do not go because they will rob you. But he said the other thing is that Americans love to get in the fountains. He's like, don't do that. That's our history. Do not get in our fountains. And it's like, what are people thinking? They're so disrespectful. I wouldn't do this in America. I wouldn't jump in a fountain there. But you know what? I'm in Italy. Let me jump in. And it's like,
It's because the water's nasty in America. I
don't think it's
fluoride.
better in Italy. I'm like, why would you think that?
Why would you even think the Trevi? I mean, it's got nasty coins coming from who knows what, from someone's who knows what,
Right.
in the water. So, but I mean, I will say, I think it is a bit ironic that the Italians who created the term graffiti is complaining about the graffiti that people are carving. But I mean, to be fair, it's their monument.
Yeah, it's
Well, I think we'd be pretty damn pissed if we came walking around the corner and someone was carving "I love Ivana" in our freaking Statue of Liberty. Also, that's like getting a tattoo with the name. Like, are you also destined for failure if you like put out like an "I love you" tattoo to someone? You know?
Yeah, I think that's a Johnny Depp scenario.
Yeah.
But I mean, it seems to be very prevalent in a lot of different areas, still in Italy. So for some magical reason, it blows my mind. For instance, back in August of 2023, these 2 women from Norway decided to go swimming in the canals of Venice. And I mean, that shit's just nasty looking at it.
Yeah,
You
it's the
understand?
dirtiest water.
And so when they were telling them to get out, and they were doing this in their underwear, okay, they explained that the canal was infested with rats. And one of the chicks got so disgusted, she literally vomited as she was in the canal trying to get out. And so they got themselves banned, okay? And
From just Italy as a whole. They're on a blacklist somewhere.
well, I don't know if you guys have heard, but Venice itself is thinking about charging, or is going to charge every tourist €5 to be there. And I'll be honest, Venice has never been appealing to me, so good luck with that. But I mean, it's happening
Yeah.
all over the place. Okay, for instance, in New Zealand, they didn't know if the family was from Ireland or from England. But back in 2019, this family caused so much, the government literally pulled them from their vacation, put them on the plane, and said, don't come back. So what they did was So Irish or English. They stole someone's miniature Christmas tree. They stole rope. They stole sunglasses, Red Bull from retail stores. They were trying to dine and ditch restaurants. They were, for some magical reason, it's odd that they would have this, but there's apparently Burger King in New Zealand. But while they were at the Burger King, they tried to get into a fight with them. And then they decided to check out the beach at some point, and they just left their trash. I mean, you have to be out of control, like, to catch the government's attention, to put you back on a plane, not a train, a plane, and be like, we're taking your visas. You're not welcome back. And then apparently they left. One of their visitors, apparently one of their family members, was a baby, like a baby onesie just laced with feces on the airplane.
Okay, I thought you were going to say the baby. So it got better from what I thought it was going. I was like, Home Alone status?
Yeah. Oh, we got to go back to your country to get our baby.
The baby just had a blowout and they just left it behind, huh? Nice. That's gross.
Right.
It's from all the Red Bulls that the baby drank.
But speaking of British, because again, America's not number one. Woo woo. Speaking of British,
We're always
we're
number
still
one.
trashed. Yeah.
They were still trash.
Yeah, those
Doesn't
are
matter.
rookie numbers, America.
we've been downgraded to kind of almost the middle.
Yeah, but just because we're not trash tourists doesn't mean we're not trash in general.
Well,
We're trashy.
I'm not part of that part. But anyways,
No, speak for yourself, peasants.
back to the British scenario. Even Amsterdam has begun a campaign against the British young men because they get drunk, they get stupid, and they cause a lot of problems. And a lot of it end up in jail. So Amsterdam is actively campaigning against the British coming over, in particularly those who are having like bachelor parties. They call them stag parties over there, where they just like they'll even like rent canal boats with unlimited booze, and they'll go into the red light district and cause a bunch of problems. Conveniently, though, the red light district is very close to the cannabis scenario as well. I don't know if you guys been there, but I have. Either way, and
Did you get loose? Did you try a space cake?
no,
Oh, come on.
Like Euro trip?
Yeah. Went in Amsterdam.
I'm a lady.
Did you at least buy yourself a male hooker in the window?
No,
Yo, I want that one, please.
no. We actually did not see any male hookers. They were all female.
Okay, for you.
In addition,
2023. All right.
but
Equality.
even in Britain, small little cutesy countryside towns, even Britons are asking or having problems with other British tourists. So I mean, it's kind of regional. I think Bali's having a lot of problems with Australian tourists to the point where they're like, But it's not just Australians. It's just everyone's getting out of control. So let's talk about kind of what the list is, because again, depending on what list you look at, it's very interesting. I probably looked at least 15 different articles and looked at surveys. And so, like, kind of generally the least but still mentioned are the French. Apparently, the French are very, very rude and obnoxious and like to complain that the food is not as good as it is in France.
Sounds right.
We don't cook frogs.
That's why people hate them.
Sorry, my own scenario. When we were going back home,
Where's home?
we're from. When we stopped in Germany actually had like the rudest people at the airport. It was like,
Were they
Just-
Germans or were they just tourists?
they looked pretty German,
Was that at Frankfurt?
probably.
Yeah, because that's where I had to go. It's a big hub.
So, right, Frankfurt and Berlin are huge, and they're important layovers. So French kind of come at the end of the line.
Just rude but harmless.
Right. But I mean, they're rude to each other.
Yeah.
They're rude to everyone on their own turf. They
They just sound rude. They're not rude. They just
Right.
sound that way.
It's the accent.
and, I guess they're a little cheapo. Oddly enough, another group of people that I did not anticipate, but apparently, and again, I've read a lot of complaints on Reddit as well, are Israelis.
Israelis.
Israelis, thank you.
I wanted to see where she was going to go with that noise that she was making.
Yes, Israelis apparently are rude and obnoxious as well.
Shouldn't have gave you coffee.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, no, I
interesting.
can't sit still.
Yeah, I know. It's all jittery now.
Kind of also bringing up the end is Germans.
Oh,
Oh, got him.
got it.
So Germans apparently just don't understand the concept of relaxing and or just chilling. And it's funny because a lot of the samples that I read were like they're very assertive in like almost an aggressive way that's just like why
Right.
kind of scenario. So like a lot of people complain, for instance, if they're like at a resort or a place where you kind of have to be the first to claim something, they're there at dark 30 claiming like the lounge chairs, the cabanas for their group of people. So they're kind of aggressive in that way. You know, why do I have to slow down? Why is this person not following the rules? Why, I'm going to do what I want kind of scenario, but not as bad. And just wait for it. So we kind of fall in about this area, the Americans. And the biggest complaint, believe it or not, is that we're loud.
What?
Never.
The three of us
Never.
and you are loud? What?
Also that we don't know a whole lot.
We don't.
It's a fact.
I mean, I have
know that
read.
much.
Have you guys seen the Reddit threads about people from other countries dealing with Americans and like Americans not having any idea about history whatsoever?
Oh my
Yeah.
God, I saw a TikTok video. They showed a map of the United States. And she's like, I think that's Iowa. Oh my God.
It is crazy. Like they, I was reading one and the guy was like English and she's like, you have a really good accent for being English or for being foreign. And he was like, I'm from England. And she's like, I know, but your English is perfect. And he's like, I've only ever spoke English, man. But it's like that. Like Americans are just so ignorant. They don't believe like that Australians speak English or that New Zealanders speak English. I was like, where was that? But they're just ignorant to that type of stuff.
Right. So speaking of which, this is where Australia kind of falls in about mid.
Also,
Yes. And the thing about them, they're actually kind of almost like a mob mentality. They'll swarm and just fuck shit up.
There's no spiders to keep him at bay.
I was like, they're Lotus.
But you can put your guard down now.
And I mean, they're a bit aggressive, a little more than the Germans are like aggressive in a assertive sort of way. Whereas Australia, one of the main complaints is that they're kind of like a mob mentality kind of scenario. So that is the Australians. And we kind of talked already about the British, but the big problem, and this was funny because the first time I ever heard a foreigner complain about a British person, we had a foreign exchange student. And
Which one?
Miguel.
Oh, the Spaniard.
Yeah. His father had done a lot of business with the British. And his father had said that he absolutely hates the British. And I was like, why? I've been to England. I never had any problems. And he said they are the rudest and most obnoxious people. And they act very superior.
Uppity. Yeah.
Yes.
You mean to tell me that British people are entitled? Was their
I think a lot
world
of people are.
conquest not evident of their
Right,
entitlement?
correct. They're a British Empire.
Here's America. This is ours. Here's this place. Also ours. I think we knew they were entitled. But it tracks.
So, but like I said, their behavior, their drunkenness, but also too, and this actually surprised me, is and I read this in several different articles from different places around the world, they will have sex in public places. Mm-hmm. And I would never have ever thought. I mean, in all the British documentaries, you sit there with this, and this is the terms that the British use, with a stiff upper lip and, you just keep it very
Prim and proper.
correct. So to hear that the British are well known to be having sex in public places, like beaches and stuff,
Yeah, voyeurism.
yes, is shocking to me. But I read that in several different articles. So
But that's a culture difference, right? Like in America, sex is so shamed and it's so like not talked about. Like it's now become less taboo. But in Europe, sex is the naked body. I mean, it's all over the place. Like my kids and I were watching something. It showed like the statue of David, and they're like, "Mom, there's a wiener." And I'm like, "Well, before the popes cut all the wieners off the statues, there were wieners everywhere in Italy."
But either way, they're actually, and I'm sure a lot of tourists are, but British people are ending up in hospitals because of some of the things that they're doing, because they're drunk, they get into a fist fight, and or they're getting arrested a lot. Like I said, Amsterdam's campaigning against them coming, and even in their own country, they're like, you know.
Well, but they're big on like their rugby and football culture is aggressive. You know, like they're into fighting.
Oh,
they don't
absolutely.
think fighting
They're
is an
stabbing
assault.
people.
Yeah, it's not an assault. It is just like pure loyalty.
But believe it or not, like I said, we are not number one. There's almost like a fighting tie. Like these two very different countries are duking it out for first and second place. And maybe they're just tied. So believe it or not, the Russians, who, you know, when I was 12, 15, the Cold War was on, the Iron Curtain, they couldn't afford to go anywhere. But now, like I said, with credit cards, everyone can go anywhere. Mm-hmm. And they are literally showing up in a very, I said the Australians kind of show up in a mob mentality, but the Russians are fucking ruthless. And once they start drinking, it's like, they're fighting the Cold War themselves. And some countries are literally providing etiquette guides, such as Italy, to Russians, being like, here are the rules.
Yeah, behave
because
yourself.
apparently Russians don't give a fuck about rules. And I mean, judging by fucking Putnam, we can see where they get it from.
Are we going with Putin?
Yeah.
Putnam. I'm like, Putnam.
I don't fucking care about the guy's name.
We don't say his name here. It's like
right.
Voldemort of
But I mean,
Russia.
it's like vodka and Russians, and there's a big problem. But enter the Chinese.
Okay, so they were two, huh?
Well, it's a tie.
Okay.
I like I said, I read a lot of different articles. I look at a lot of different like Reddit, because some of the people work in travel services or in services and have had to deal with these tourists. And so they're, a lot of them said it's between the Russians and the Chinese. Now, the Chinese, supposedly, again, kind of the same scenario with the Iron Curtain. Now that there's some money in their economy, now that people are becoming tourists, they have, according to a lot of the articles I read, no concept of fucking simple things.
Just manners, yeah.
Correct. And I mean, the scenario is, it's kind of embarrassing. It's disgusting and it's embarrassing. I'm just going to be honest, to the point where even the Chinese government has said, you guys need to fucking stop. For instance, the Chinese are known for spitting in public, like just spitting everywhere.
I don't like that.
Spitting on the planes, spitting on buses, tour buses. They have no respect for traffic laws. And this is the biggest thing, is that they'll just shit in public. There are actual signs at the Eiffel Tower in both Cantonese and Mandarin. Both these are Chinese languages, telling the Chinese not to defecate on the lawns of the Eiffel Tower. And the sad part is when we were there was a row of toilets, a huge row. So
they have options.
Yeah,
right.
I mean,
There's always an option.
can we get a window at the toilets? I mean, they want to enjoy the scenery.
Well, they have those too. They
It's a
had those where
bucket
you
list.
can go into the one where it's like a
self-cleaning.
Right. It's I think it's the one where you can see outside.
Oh, yeah?
Shit.
Yeah.
But they can't see inside.
Right.
Or they can't look
Like a
inside
two-way
with your
mirror.
shit.
Yeah, one-way mirror.
So I mean, whatever happens there happens there. But at least it's fucking. You can see if it's clean or dirty without going in there.
Right.
For
But
the record,
there's-
a two-way mirror is just a window.
One-way mirror is just a mirror. What's the one that you can see through?
Just giving you shit. Well, could you imagine you pay all that money to go to Paris? You're like, hey, kids, here's the Eiffel Tower. Okay, scoot left so I can take a picture of you away from that person pooping on the ground. It's fine.
Right.
I didn't know that was a thing. Like, why?
Yes.
I don't know why,
And
right?
it's not just there. So
relaxing.
they've even in Europe, or excuse me, in Egypt, they have caught a Chinese individual pooping in a 3,500-year-old temple.
Nice.
Okay. And even on planes, there was an incident where a young boy who was told by his parents to go ahead and poop on his plane seat, guys.
Oh my God.
That's gross.
I can't.
So
I mean, maybe we're
put it in a
prudes,
throw
but
bag.
this is not okay.
I'm telling you, they got us beat.
Well, like, where do they get the habit for that though? Like, what?
They do it in their own country. The Chinese
street?
will shit. They will tell their children to just shit around the street, right there.
I see. I have a hard time believing.
You can trust me. I've read the article.
I do know that some Eastern Asian countries will do that. Especially, I mean, this is only from hearsay and what I've heard and seen and done. Whatever. I've never been there, but like India,
They do that too.
where they just do it.
So India.
But I don't know about like inside a building or something. I know for sure they do it on the side of the road, and it's like, what the fuck?
So yes, honorable mentions are Indians from India
Honorable mentions.
and Italians.
Dishonorable mention.
Yeah.
The son of
The
you.
Italians are intense too.
But yes, even the vice premier, Wing Yang, has criticized his countrymen, saying, this is uncivilized behavior and you guys are creating this, and I'm just going to use a quote here. This damages our national image and has a terrible effect. And, I remember very clearly we were getting on the bus we were in Rome. We were getting on the bus and when the tour guy said, okay, please line up, they didn't line up. They mad rushed to the point where the Italian guide was like, get back the fuck up. I mean, they just, because they wanted the best seats, the front seats. And I mean, again, a simple line formation would have sufficed. And that was like, I mean, he looked at me and I looked at him like, oh, this is happening.
And who was mad rushing them?
The Chinese.
Oh.
So, and the thing is that when you go out and about, you see it. But I will say, and this is a funny story. When I was in Rome last time, I took my youngest son, and I was obviously not wearing the right shoes, and it was raining a lot. And every time I fucking walked across a manhole, I would slip. Well, one particular time, the last time, it had been raining significantly, and I was even carrying an umbrella. And sure as shit, I ended up doing like the splits, and he screamed, throwing my umbrella in the air like 20 yards. And it was these two Asian women running to help me. So, I mean, I'm not saying everybody. And then the guy with the Uzis showed up too. So, but I mean, it is what it is.
The Uzis?
The Uzis. So,
The Mafia?
The Carbonari.
yes, they're not fucking around.
They got all the AKs. They're just patrolling.
Like
Yeah.
the policia.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Carbonari.
I was just say the man with the Uzis. Like,
no.
That's a criminal.
No, anywhere you walk
We
around
are
in
the
Italy.
Black Dragon.
We are a flaming dragon.
Oh God.
You scream like that, we kill you again. Yes.
And this is all stereotypes. I mean, it's not all people. It's not
No.
all nationalities.
No.
It's not all cultures. Like, everyone has the ability to be jackasses.
Everyone remembers the bad before they remember the good.
Correct. And in fact, that's one of the things that I read, that someone said, I know the Americans get a really bad rap, and I will say about 90% of them, but that 10% is a big 10%. And that's what we remember is the bad portion. So, I mean, even the people who were responding, having been seeing the problems and having experienced problems with tourists, are saying it's not everybody, but the bad is super bad.
Yeah, this is what we see. Not everybody is a drunk, stupid American in these other countries, but it could be.
It
Right.
sure is.
It is like, As me. I did it.
I didn't throw up in the streets.
Well, and the bottom line is that part of traveling is learning different cultures in different ways, but not everyone is receptive to that, even though they are in a foreign country and have the ability to understand that. And, this is a travel podcast combined with paranormal and crime and random topics. But the whole point is that my mom, we didn't have a lot of money growing up. I'm telling you, the 80s were rough on everybody. The Cold War was rough. Everything was rough. And I promise you, at no point in my childhood did I think I'd be A, on a podcast, and B, going, I've been to Italy. I've been to Rome. I've been to England. Never. These things have never crossed my mind. But the point is that just kind of be aware. Sometimes it's an accident. You don't intend to be rude or disrespectful. But that's the good thing about traveling. You learn new things. And you expand your horizon.
Your awareness.
Right.
Well, and I mean, that's kind of what I was going to say is like, my ex-husband and I didn't have a ton of money. We scraped up enough money to take our kids to Disneyland. We had to do it in this big family trip because, people shouldering the expenses was helpful to us. We stayed in a giant Airbnb with 20 people. So you're only splitting that up. You're splitting the food up amongst 20 people. It was easier. But we go to Universal Studios. And it was like, oh, these tourists keep running into us. I mean, these people would just take out my stroller with my 2-year-old son in it, and they had no care in the world if they knocked him out. And it was just like, what the hell, guys? Like, you're ruining my experience. But that very much is to what you were speaking, that we're all so hard up, and the world is so hard to live in, and it has been hard to live in for a while, that everyone is just trying to get their money's worth. It probably was damn hard for them to get themselves there in the first place. And so, as much as they're ruining your experience, they're trying to give themselves a good experience. So my PSA would just solely be like, we do need to just be more aware of other people, that every time we do something like that, we're taking someone else's experience away, and we wouldn't want them to do that to us.
Right.
Good answer.
Thank you. I'm running for president 2028. Sam for president. Red Panda Sam.
But again, just to reiterate, when I fell in Rome and caused a huge scene, I don't know what they were, but they did seem Asian. So
Of Asian descent.
There's always a scene in every country I've been with you. Maybe
Maybe you're the bad
it's
tourist.
usually just one time, and then it's over with, and then we laugh about it on the spot.
what was the scene in England?
Fucking your allergy meds and fucking dying on me in Stonehenge. Michael, I don't think I'm gonna make it back. I was like, okay, it's a good thing everyone speaks English.
So maybe this is a podcast. You get to list out all of your countries, and Michael gets to tell you all the stories that went wrong.
Well, I've only been
want to share France?
France. Yeah, she almost died in France too. That's where we were dragging her out of
Put a
Disneyland.
folder together with life insurance just in case.
I always forget. We should probably take out insurance before we fucking leave. Traveler's insurance.
Why were you dragging her out of
Well, so
Disneyland?
we went to France, and it was towards the end of the trip. Luckily enough, and I think it was a last minute decision to go to Disneyland. I don't think it was really planned out. I think it was just an idea.
We were actually supposed to go to England.
Right, that's what it is. But she didn't want to go to England because that would have been her fourth time.
Third
Third time going.
And apparently the last time was traumatizing.
Well, no, it was fine. So that scenario, the English scenario wasn't as bad because the English actually don't have a lot of limitations on their medication, which was really fortunate.
You could just drug her up freely.
Yeah, so they drugged her up real good, and she got fixed up real quick. And next day, she's like, I'm fucking ready. So that was a whole new fucking bunny out there. But, the time where she was going down, she was crashing hard. So I was like, okay. And we were on we were on a tour guide bus too, and there was already drama with someone else that got left behind by the tour guide bus and everything else, and she's going down. People are fighting. I don't know where I'm at.
Don't do this to me right now, Mom.
Yeah, this is my first. This is my first experience outside of a country that I'm not aware of. But yeah, so she was your allergies or something. Something
For
was
England,
it was bad.
Just like a massive migraine hit me.
And
But
so-
like it was my sinuses.
right. So we went to their Rite Aid. I don't remember what it was. It was just some general Walgreens store or something like that. We walked in, went to the pharmacist, and we asked him, or she asked him. I was fucking whatever, and she said, "Hey, I have this, and that," and he goes, "Okay, take this," and it was Sudafed, and she's like, "I need something stronger." And he goes, "No, you don't.
Trust me, ma'am.
We don't have your rules. Take this." And she's like, "Fuck you."
We're not
Grabbed
giving you
it,
any
paid
more
for
drugs.
it, and she took it. And she's like, "Wow, that guy was right."
We're not giving you stronger drugs, you junkie.
The British were right.
well, so yes, before she kicked in, though, we make it back to our hotel, and she's laying there. She's like, "Michael, if I don't feel this good tomorrow, I'm so sorry, but we might have to go home." I was like, "Okay." But next morning, fucking, like I said, new ball game, and I was like,
Popped
"Okay,
up, ready to go.
yeah."
In France,
Oh, in France. So yeah, so back to France. This is years and years later. We did everything. We did the Louvre. We did D-Day, beaches. We did everything. Normandy, all that. And then we decided to go to Disneyland. And we were having a fine time. It was under a lot of construction, so a lot of the rides and stuff were kind of whatevered. And a lot of the places were kind of closed down because they were reconstructing everything for the holidays. And at some point, I think when we sat down to eat the Blue Bayou or whatever it's called down there, like the Pirates of the Caribbean ride restaurant, because we got reservations for that, and it was very easy. But I don't remember if it was before, during, or after. Somewhere at that point was the point where she goes, "I don't feel good." So luckily it wasn't just me. It was me, my brother, and my stepdad, and we were all fine. We're like, "Well, just eat. Let's see what happens." And she comes out, and she just got her hands on her sides, and she's slowing down the further we go. She's, I don't want to say shortness of breath, but she's just, "I don't feel good."
Like Peter Griffin.
Yeah. It's just slowly getting worse. Oh no, I'm not slowly, it's rapidly getting worse. Because at some point we gotta go. She's holding her head, and she's got the hand backwards on the forehead while we're walking.
We gotta get out of
Yeah,
here.
and she's like, "We gotta go right now." I was like, "What? You got a fucking shit or something?" I don't know what's wrong with me. The whole fucking time. And so at one point she's like, "I can't walk anymore." So we have to fucking one arm on each shoulder and take her out of Disneyland. Act like we're fucking carrying this drunk person out. And it's still daylight.
Americans.
It wasn't even
Can
the
I
full
get a stroller?
Right. It wasn't even the full day of Disneyland, so we're just like, okay, I guess we're leaving early. So we have to get on the train, and she's just like dying on the train, almost passing out from whatever was going on, and the whole time she's apologizing, like people, like drunk people would do. "I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." And I think the only thing we can conclude is that a water that she drank just wasn't watered enough, I guess. Because I was dehydrated in France, so.
Go ahead. I like this theme. Pick another country.
I don't think I want to travel with you. Just don't invite me.
It's
Don't
just,
bother.
like I said, it's just one event, and it usually goes by after. Because after we made it back, I don't know what happened. It
She
just
gets
kind
in the
of.
hotel room. She's like, "Yeah."
Well, I was like, maybe she had a fucking shit. Maybe she's just a bad poop. I was like, maybe just go to the bathroom. Just try to push or something. I don't know.
He's constipated.
let me tell you, you don't
Poop
want
on the side of the road. Everyone's doing it.
Take her to the Eiffel Tower.
I know this great place.
The English thing, he's right. They gave me the medicine kicked in. We were at a restaurant when it kicked in, and I was like, okay, we got this, I can do
good.
this. But I don't know, it was either too much cheese for my system, or I drank some bad water, which is strange because in France they use the same type of filtering system. But
It's
it
a
was
whole
a
thing.
bottled water that I was drinking out of a different company. But I tell you what, when we got back to that hotel, fucking bad things came out of me.
Okay, see, I wasn't wrong. There's a whole grass stain outside. We walked right by our adult store and the Moulin Rouge, went upstairs to the hotel room, and it was, I don't remember what we did after that. I don't think we did anything.
That was Yes, it was really
I blacked out too. I don't remember.
Well, unfortunately,
traumatizing.
too, right. The other thing about our hotel in France was the beds were not comfortable.
Oh, that was probably when I was traumatized.
And so nobody was sleeping very well. And, that was a huge learning experience because we went cheap, not realizing we sacrificed comfort. And comfort is a really important thing, especially when you need to get some sleep to regenerate your energy when you're on the go, 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 go.
Well, when you're jet lagged too.
Right.
And then, I mean, if you don't sleep, it just messes your whole body up.
Right. And
Right.
you're already messed up because of the jet lag. So if you just can't reset, it's
Well, the beds were literally this table.
Yeah, just
Like I can't explain how. Does it still have blankets and pillows, or a pillow or whatever? And I was like this, and I can sleep everywhere. Everyone knows I can sleep anywhere.
Sleep anyway.
Everyone, if I'm tired, my body's gonna take a nap. But at this fucking bed, yeah, I fought my nemesis. I think I ended up just going to the floor because I just couldn't take it anymore.
yes. In fact, I think your brother slept on the floor too.
I could not win. I was like, this is terrible. I'm trying to have a good time.
when you were younger too. So I mean, especially like now, I was just telling my boss this the other day. I'm like, I know I'm old now because he's like, what's wrong with you? Why do you have a migraine? Why are you in so much pain? And I'm like, I used the wrong pillow last night. And I'm like, I know I'm old now, right? But when I was like 20, 18, I could sleep anywhere. I could sleep on a bus against a window. Like I was good to go. So like, I mean, that speaks volumes. If like younger, you're just like, nah, you can't even do it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think the best sleep we got was when we went to Normandy and we stayed at it wasn't like a farm, but it definitely was not in a city or town.
Right. It was like a converted
a
barn
B&B
or something.
thing. But it was modernized.
Right. It was actually very nice.
It was very nice, and that was probably the best time. And then that was my favorite part of the trip, anyways. But
Right.
So that's it. These are, I mean, and sometimes, traveling makes you a bad tourist too when you're all fucked up. So there's that.
yeah,
That sounds like excuses.
Your wall is gone. Everything is. This is what I need now, and I will go through you to get what I need. She fucking told that pharmacist, "You're fucking wrong."
Yeah, I really want to do a part 2 of this and just go through the rest of the trips you've taken because I need to know the other stories.
Well, I mean, I've only been to 2 countries with you, like, and explored those countries.
Right.
I mean, we've pulled off in Amsterdam, Canada. I think that's it.
So yeah.
I don't know.
But we're headed for, but it means the Disney cruise. I mean,
Right. We'll get to experience Canada.
yes.
Can I
Yes.
bring in my utility player? Can we bring in husband and just ask him for his experiences?
Oh yeah, you went to Ireland with
No.
the ex?
The other one, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then
No, so
But you guys went to Japan.
we didn't go to
Recently?
Japan together. I
We
forgot.
did,
I
yes.
totally forgot.
and no problems.
I mean, we had family problems, but
Yeah.
that was different.
Yelling at each other.
Yeah, it was just one bad night. I told you, there's always one bad time. And then I had to intervene. Oh my God.
You make continental
We're
breakfast
in-
for that bitch.
I don't know. It didn't matter. We solved it that night. We squashed it. And then whatever after that, y'all can deal with yourselves because I was there for a good time.
So good.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah. No, Ireland, I did not. Well, we did have a problem. But
Yeah, it was
There it is,
back
there it is,
real
there it is.
fast.
Let's go.
But the biggest memory actually was not me. It was the ex. And I mean, I don't know if I should share it. We're at 45 minutes.
He's not listening. It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, if he did.
So Ireland is beautiful. If you have the opportunity, you don't have to be Irish. Everyone's Irish on St. Patrick's Day anyways. Point is, so we stay at this really nice hotel and they actually upgrade us. It's our one and only upgrade we get ever. And so what happens is it's a beautiful room and the bathroom is huge, like this space huge. And the tub itself is this massive tub that's just like amazing.
Clawfoot or jacuzzi?
Jacuzzi.
Okay.
Okay. So I work it, I get it started. The bubbles are going, it's nice and warm. And the ex, You know, he comes in, he's looking, you can see on his face, and this person, we'll give him this, is typically the calmest motherfucker you will ever meet until, okay?
Until he's not.
Right.
That's also me. I'm that person.
He's literally like grabbing his chin, walking back and forth.
She's showing what the claw foot is. I don't know.
Oh yeah, okay, gotcha. It's like a draw on your kid's tub.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Every
those
single
Victorian.
the horror movie.
Yeah.
tubs.
Oh no, they're fancy. Everyone loves them
Okay.
because they're
Sounds
just
like
they
that's
stay
what my wife
so
says.
warm. Yeah.
That's what my wife says.
So, anyways, he is very nervous about getting in, and I don't know why. He's literally like grabbing his chin, trying to study, trying to figure out how he's gonna get in. And I'm like swimming, like my arms are going the backstroke, going forward.
You're
I'm like,
seducing him with your mermaid waves. Come into the water. It's fine.
Her siren song.
what are you waiting for? Come on in, come
Friends
on
can
in.
listen to Endless Love in the Dark.
So he even tries to like bring a foot over to kind of get in
Like
very
he's in.
gently, but he kind of hesitates, so he cuts out. I mean, he's like pacing back. I mean, I don't understand why he's acting this way, and I'm just like swimming. Hello, come on. So then he decides he's gonna do it, and we're just so you understand, we're like on the second or third floor. Okay. So he puts his hand on the rim of the jacuzzi. He swings his leg over, and as he's lowering himself into the jacuzzi itself, his hand hits the jet stream, and the jet stream shoots right up his ass. He launches his body forward, and this thing's so big, he misses me completely, and he thinks he's drowning, and he's pounding on the water. He's like dying, because the worst part is that the jacuzzi motor goes off and it's shaking the thing a little bit, so he thinks we're fucking crashing through the floor. He's trying to get out of the tub. He's dying, and I'm assuming they're all casually like, "What are you doing? Why are you dying?"
His worst fears realized in real time.
We're going through the floor. We're going to die.
We're gonna die.
And he's naked.
Oh god. He's vulnerable. Oh god.
So yeah, that was the other Irish story that I never shared.
Just terrified.
You just happen to be there. I'm just saying. Has there been a time or an incident where you have not been there?
So,
That's amazing.
you know, tourists beware. Sometimes the jet stream's a little
What was the issue with him getting in the first place? He was just
nervous.
He just couldn't get in. He just couldn't. Where do I put my foot?
Yeah,
It's like a
Where do I
weird
put my
mental
butthole?
block. Yeah, we've all had that problem where you're just like something seems easy and you're just like, I can't do it. Nope.
You should
I
go to a
can't.
Japanese toilet.
Oh god.
Fucking, there's a whole wall of buttons, you know, and you don't know what any of them say. I pressed one button in the airport. It started
Deep clean.
It did rainforest noises. It calmed me, but I'm like, oh, okay.
That helped.
That's
Scenic
amazing.
I would like to clean my ass now.
So that's it. That's what we have for you tonight. On to business.
Facebook. We have a Facebook page where the dark corners are. Comment, concern, questions, comments, and concerns can be posted on Facebook.
We would love for you guys to share your crazy family vacation times because I have some really good ones with my brother and I. But, you know, like share it with us. Let us know. See if you have one problem every family vacation you go to. I think one's actually pretty good. Near death, maybe not so much, but
Yeah, it doesn't have to be foreign. It could be domestic.
Oh yeah.
Not everybody leaves the country as much as the bunny.
We almost didn't make it to the Hawaii either.
Yeah, that was my fault.
Oh, shit.
That was my fault.
How was that your fault? You caused the storm to happen, and then you had us walk out into the airfield to get into the smaller plane to take it to wherever we were going. I don't remember what the deal was.
We were supposed to be there at 6, and I thought we had to get up at 6. So
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
We missed our flight.
yeah, that was
well, go on to Facebook. Tell us if you'd like to see Brutus come back and we can maybe talk about family horror vacations. We'd be happy to tell you all
Panda
about them.
Sam, yeah.
Right?
But in the meantime, if you do have a different topic or serial killer you'd like us to cover, let us know through our Panda's favorite email, where the dark corners are, at gmail.com. Final thoughts, Samantha?
So when we talked about all of this, and I will try to make it super brief, it made me think of the article that went viral not too long ago about influencers taking pictures at the Auschwitz Museum.
Oh, yeah.
And how insensitive that was. So my final thought is just to plead, like, think about where you are when you're standing on a monument to thousands of dead people, taking pictures, trying to get likes. Think about where you are. Think about who's around you. Think about other people's experience, and then show the proper respect when you're in certain places. Maybe don't go into a sacred temple and take a picture. Maybe don't go to a Holocaust museum and take pictures. Like, think about where you are.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty ridiculous. I mean, seeing a monument that was there for thousands of years and you're like, I'm going to carve my initials in it.
Crazy. I mean, it was so, this influencer thing was so bad that the museum posted something, was like, think about where you are.
Yeah.
Please stop taking pictures like this. Don't stand on these monuments, because this is literally about people that were murdered. Like, maybe think about where you're at. So,
Yeah, how vain do you have to be?
well, and then to carve the Colosseum. I mean, it's just crazy. Like, please take care of our world. It's been here for many years. People deserve to, like, be able to share it. Don't ruin shit for everybody else.
Don't be that guy.
sensitive. Yeah, don't be that guy.
My final thoughts, I was going to go back to the drinking in other countries thing. It's just kind of, it's funny, like, personal experience, just seeing other people, like Ukraine, like anywhere else. When I see the people drink, they drink a lot, but they still stay semi-functional. Like, they can get home, they can do their thing, public transportation, whatever. But it's just kind of funny to see, like, how people here feel so safe going out and blacking out, and they're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get home tomorrow no matter what, somebody will pick me up or whatever. But if you go out into a different country and black out drunk, there's no guarantee you're gonna make it back, or make it back with all your things,
Right.
Like, tourists are easy targets. That's great. And just because you're in another country and you don't know the laws doesn't mean they don't apply to you.
Right.
Yeah, that goes domestic too, I think. Just because you're not in California and you go to Arkansas and you get wasted, there's nowhere. I mean, this is just examples. This is not experience.
Those are very specific.
Well, it's the only states I could think of
That
in the
was
moment.
the weirdest state to pick, too. Arkansas.
I know. I could not think of another
We've
state.
been to both.
I couldn't say
That's
New
weird.
York. I couldn't say Massachusetts. I couldn't remember a
Massachusetts.
single state
I was like,
until
literally,
Arkansas.
who's going to fly to Arkansas to get drunk? Why are we partying in Arkansas?
Me.
We've done it.
Me.
I guess they're talking from experience.
Well, I didn't get wasted or nothing, but still, yeah, just, anywhere you go, that should be your game plan of not
Being a
getting to that point.
jackass.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm Panda and I like to party. Arkansas
But
or
I still want to
otherwise.
go home.
Hashtag please help me get home.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know. I've been very fortunate everywhere I went. I never dealt with someone as a problem. If that makes sense. I've been very fortunate not to have a rude person and people not help me. But everywhere we went to Japan, everybody was helpful in Japan. We went to France, people helped us. I don't think I dealt with a single rude person, even though that's supposed to be the rudest spot. We went to Britain, everybody was, Britain. We went to Britain and nobody was a problem there. We went to Hawaii. I mean, they wanted our money. That's why they're so nice to us. But
The Italians were very hospitable as long as you tried to speak Italian. But I mean, a lot of the little old ladies on the bus were like, honey, move, turn around and hide your purse. That guy's trying to pickpocket you. I mean, it is cool to find kindness out there. Which in turn shows some respect.
right, and I think that's my bad habit is I don't learn the language nearly as much as I wanted to, or anything. If I go wherever and it doesn't, it's just they can see you didn't put any effort or whatever, and they're like, "Well, you know where you are. You should try to do something."
Mm-hmm.
So,
I always thought it was kind of rude, trying your best to just butcher the language.
well, I'm from my perspective, if you can see someone attempting to actually try instead of just half-assing it, I mean, you can tell when someone's joking with your language and doing whatever, as opposed to someone who's
Mocking you versus trying.
right.
Genuine, I think.
Well, and Italians are very into that. Like, they want you to at least try. So a lot of times when I was in Italy, I mean, I wasn't picking up Italian super quick. So a lot of times I'm like, come se dice muffin? And they were just like, then they'd tell me the word and I'd be, say it back to
You
them. And they
start
were like,
pointing.
good job, sweetheart. Yeah, they were like, okay, sweetie, you got this, Peach.
That was it. I don't think yeah.
We all look at him expectingly.
That was
I
the
gave him an
last
insight.
thought.
That was my last thought. Learn the fucking language.
Give it a try.
Yeah.
Rosetta Stone that shit.
Yeah.
Okay, so there you have it. So until next time, please remember, only the few can find the beauty in the darkness, which is where we hope to meet you, where the dark corners are.
Well, but they're big on like their rugby and football culture is aggressive. You know, like they're into fighting.
Oh,
they don't
absolutely.
think fighting
They're
is an
stabbing
assault.
people.
Yeah, it's not an assault. It is just like pure loyalty.
Right.
Once again, cultural difference, right? I mean, like I'm sure football fans do that too, and we watch them and we're like, oh god, these people are insane.
I've never
But
stabbed anybody. It's not-
Raider Nation is intense. Like you don't go into the black hole wearing a different jersey. Everyone
it's
knows
the
that.
49ers now. The Raiders fans aren't even as bad. You can't afford tickets now, so a lot of Raiders fans fell off. So,
Well, they cry a lot.
well, Niners fans do too.
Not this year, fool.
Oh,
Yeah, I was gonna
okay.
say-
All of a sudden, you have one more game to go. You think you're hot shit?
It's a lot more games than you got. So
Oh, who got first Super Bowl? Who made it to the Super Bowl last? Rams.
Did you win?
Rams. Went, yeah, we won one.
How many?
won one.
How many win?
You got
How
one.
many of the names?
We've been to two. This
Oh,
is your second one
here's
now.
your clap.
Way to catch up. Way
Here's
to
your
catch
clap.
up. To
Fool.
two's
We
your
have
second
won
one.
5 Super Bowls.
Well, you've had your big. Look at your fucking team. You stacked up. Oh, when? When was
okay,
that? When
okay.
was that? When was
Someone
that?
has anger
Look
issues.
at you're just
Is it
you're just
genetic?
salty. You're just salty.
From his father's side.
You won with nobody. You won with everybody.
The staff from Where the Dark Corners Are does not endorse NFL fighting or rivalry. Can you tell
Put
the
the knife
Super Bowl,
down.
right? Super Bowl season is upon us.
And we just lost all of our
They're all gone.
non-American.
Like, so Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are a thing.
But believe it or not,